Thank you for joining us today for Firestorm's presentation of Predictive, Actionable Intelligence. Firestorm is currently engaged to help keep hundreds of schools and tens of thousands of students safer. Firestorm knows that monitoring for risks and behaviors of concern helps you identify a threat before it becomes a crisis. Almost every disaster, incident of workplace violence, and act of terrorism was preceded by warning signals. We listen to major social media platforms to determine potential threats and then look at very specific threats, such as a student saying, "I brought a gun to school today," or someone who's sitting right next to someone who brought a gun to school. We do this through an actionable intelligence dashboard of information. The first thing we do is create a stream, and a stream is composed of keywords and phrases that we know are used in specific regions or locations. We include a search for all social media platforms and RSS feeds from video, news, major news organizations, blogs, discussion boards, and a host of others. We can look at real-time actionable intelligence, how many mentions, specifically where are they coming from, if you have multiple schools or locations, how many times your school, location, or students are being mentioned, conversation maps that let us know specifically what the conversation is about, the exposure of those messages, and other pieces of criteria such as gender and sentiment. When we look at this general demo of school issues, we're looking for some very specific phrases such as gun to school, lockdown, lockdown selfie, and we're also looking at Instagram for words that relate to someone who may be depressed and thinking of doing themselves or others harm. You can see that we're seeing mentions from RSS feeds, from Instagram, and we're able to tag these different pieces of information. We can tag them as news, as a real threat, as song lyrics, so that later when we go to analyze the information, we can sort it in a more meaningful way. And we have a workflow that allows a user to assign a task to someone within the team who has access to the application. In this case, we're looking to escalate an issue. Once an email has been sent that notifies someone that an issue has been escalated to them or assigned to them, they can come into the application and resolve the issue or respond to the issue. Additionally, if you twine your Twitter account, your Facebook account, and other social media, you can actually connect to that social media to reply directly from one single application, and your entire team can work together. You can look at all mentions for up to a 90-day period in all languages, in all regions, broad or specific, and in a variety of platforms, and you can customize the platforms as well. Your team can report and export every mention, every activity, every action you've taken on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And these broad metrics can be turned into a report that's suitable for your team or for your senior leadership. You can see specific mentions, a trend line for when those ebb and flow, the top social platforms being used, top geographical distribution, and you can drill into that distribution. And you can look at that average daily exposure. In this case, at one point we were almost up to 900,000 views. The conversation map allows you to see what people are talking about. Recently, there was a shooting in North Carolina at a community college, and the suspect was indeed arrested. So you can see quickly in either an isolated geographic region or a broad region what the conversation is about. And again, you can dice the information in a number of ways so that if a message like this appears, you'll be ready to take action. Next, we want to look at that specific person. Where are they coming from? Where did the message originate from? Leveraging a best-in-class application from one of our partners, we're able to look at very specific geographies and people who are using social media within the walls or parking lot or area of that geography. In this case, we noticed something that seemed to be escalating. We were able to bring this information to the attention of the people within that organization. And as you can see, there are more than 2 billion worldwide users of social media. So this type of threat, being able to isolate words that matter and intent that matters, is critically important. We want to listen for you, to create conversation aggregators and identify what's being communicated regarding your organization and your people. And then we look and focus on a specific location, event, or person based upon the identified crisis, risk, threat, exposure, or vulnerability. Looking is targeted awareness, and we use this for time when it matters most. Follow the best practices, have a great written plan, and predict, plan, and perform. Thank you for allowing us to show you a brief overview of how your organization can build a comprehensive program for predictive, actionable intelligence.